What can I do next? What can I do a bit different? How can I rejuvenate, reinvigorate my working life for the benefit of me and for the benefit of others?
After a certain point, I just suddenly couldn't imagine leaving anymore.
You're part of a community. It's a small community, but it means a lot to them.
It feels more like working in a team than when you are in a bigger place where there's more people around, which is sort of counterintuitive.
We've seen people really broaden their skill base, so what they used to do might be quite narrow, really focused in a particular area, but one of the joys of working in a remote and rural location is that you have that flexibility. By working in rotation or through partnership or even in a shared experience, we can expand your experience and grow different skills and different abilities.
My name is Sian Clement. I am a GP, and in NHS Orkney my main role is I work for the out of hours GPs. So we do 7 nights followed by 2-day shifts once every 8 weeks. But I also have done a couple of locums on some of the outer islands where you go over and you're the only doctor on the island for however long you're out there for. It was actually a friend of mine who I knew from work in Wales, and she was one of the other out-of-hours GPs, and she told me about it when she got the job. And as soon as she told me, I said, well, if they need anyone else, let me know. And in May, she contacted me and said they're looking for a locum for June. Luckily, I was free, so I came up for what was meant to be just 10 days.
And you're still here?
Well, I have gone home sometimes in between, but I think I'm now on my 6th 10-day block.
I think there's often a belief that if you come to work in a rural community that's it, you're not going to be dealing with anything unusual or interesting, and you leave often your professional development behind, and that's changed a great deal over the past few years. You know, there are real opportunities to grow and develop and work in partnership with mainland health boards. So it isn't a case of come here and you lose your skills. It's about coming here and delivering your skills in a really different way, often one that's more patient focused, because you're part of a community. It's a small community, but it means a lot to them.
Because it's a smaller team here, one of my roles is I can be called out to help the ambulance. When I'm on the outer islands, I am the only clinical person on some of them, so I've done some more courses because I might be dealing with emergencies or trauma or accidents that, you know, when you've got the whole clinical team around you, GPs wouldn't be called to do those things. So it definitely has. I've learned a lot more in readiness. I've done a lot more, and I find that I work with the different team members a lot closer. You're not on your own. You do, even if you're on the islands, you've got people that are very supportive that you can talk to, that understand that, you know, you might be the only doctor there, so you do need to be able to talk things through with them. So I think it feels more like working in a team, actually, than when you are in a bigger place where there's more people around, which is sort of counterintuitive. For me, yeah, I love the outdoors. I love swimming in the sea. The sea here is crystal clear. Not the warmest, but I quite enjoy that. So I'm swimming in the sea more days than I'm not. And walking, the places that you can walk here, the wildlife that you can see. I mean, the Ring of Brodgar, the sort of Neolithic sites are just phenomenal. So yeah, when I'm up here, we do work quite long hours in the job that I do, but I also make sure that I get out and about and have fun. That's my main reason for being sort of combining those two coming up here.
My name is Kevin Fox. I'm one of the physicians here, subspecialising in cardiology, and I've also taken on recently the role of Associate Medical Director to help support recruitment and generally improve the consultant workforce. For all patients in this hospital and under the outpatient service of this hospital, their care is led by a consultant, whether that's a physician, surgeon, obstetrician, orthopaedic surgeon, whatever. This is a consultant-led service. What that means is, although we work with trainees and very closely with the allied healthcare professionals, we provide to some extent an overarching plan, diagnosis and management structure to offer the very best care that we can to our patients. We're looking after patients, we're trying to provide modern, high-tech, intensive, medicalised care for patients using all the best treatments available. But on the other hand, it's small. We're absolutely integral to the community of the population of these islands. It's a small hospital where everybody knows everybody, and teams are easily brought together to work as one for the care of the patients. And that's very refreshing.
My name's Kate Smith and I'm the lead CT radiographer in NHS Orkney. So that means I run the CT scanning service here. When I came up about nearly 7 years ago, I think it was, 2014, I came up a little bit before we had a CT scanner to sort of get the service started, get the scanner in place, get protocols sorted out and start training the staff and so on. I retrained as a mature student into radiography when I was sort of in my 30s, and actually when I decided to do that, it was always in my mind that I might want to come to the Highlands or Islands, and I thought it was a kind of job that would enable me to do that. Just because I like it, I like the environment, I like the outdoors and so on, and I thought I might enjoy the small community. And so I trained in radiography and I had my first job, which was in a huge hospital in Oxford, which I actually really enjoyed, and I enjoyed my time in Oxford, but it was never really what I intended. And I looked one day on the internet and I saw a job to set up a CT service in Orkney, and I thought, well, I kind of have to do that now. It was pure coincidence I actually saw the advertisement because I hadn't really been looking, but I'm very glad I did. Spent the first couple of years alternately enjoying it a lot and thinking what a wonderful place to be, and sometimes finding it difficult because I was a long way from family and friends. I did move up on my own without any family with me or anything like that. That's a difficult thing to do. So there were times in the first couple of years where I thought, well, I'll get this set up and then maybe I'll move on to something else. But after a certain point, I just suddenly couldn't imagine leaving anymore. So, and at that point I started really committing to being in Orkney. The outdoor environment is just beautiful. The light is incredible, the sea is stunning. There's loads to do and there's lots of time to do it in, especially in the summer, because it's light all night and you're not wasting time commuting to work and struggling to get your shopping done or your kids from school or whatever it might be, because all those things are really easy here generally. There isn't loads of traffic, there aren't loads of people, you can just get those things done and then you've got time to do whatever it might be that you want to do. Our team's really great, we get on really well, and the team working sort of wider within the hospital, it's so much easier for a lot of things than in a big hospital. So we work closely with, say, the Macmillan nurses dealing with cancer patients, we work closely with A&E, dealing with any emergencies that happen, and the wards. And when you sort of know who everyone is and you've got to organise something that might not be something that you do every day, it's just that much easier. Or you know who to ask, or if you don't know who to ask, someone else will tell you, and you can just get things sorted out on a much more personal level rather than dealing with a monolithic organisation.
Come and see Orkney, it's so beautiful. The people are incredibly friendly. They really value what the NHS does for them, and we've seen that throughout all of COVID-19. But building upon that is about listening to what people want. Often work-life balance can be different. People come to Orkney for a whole range of reasons. They might want to continue some education and work in Orkney. They might want to travel the world for 6 months and have a permanent place they know they can come back and work in. So we are a flexible employer, and it's those exploring those opportunities with individual applicants who may be interested in working here. There is such a breadth of activity that goes on in island communities, far more than you might experience if you're living in a big city. Just because people are so friendly and they'll invite you in, we have beautiful landscapes. You're not ever far away from the sea. And it's easy to travel, it's easy to get around. It's safe, people look out for one another. These are really important community spirits. And it gives you the chance to focus on the thing that's most important. I say this as a nurse myself, which is providing really high quality patient care.